XRP moving higher with a new upgrade to the XRP ledger. This is following up on the big announcement that we got yesterday. David Schwartz stepping aside from his role as CTO of Ripple. But we broke this down yesterday about how this was the bullish signal that the mission has been accomplished. The job is finished and the XRP ledger is ready for institutional DeFi, at least at Ripple. And so that was the sign and signal that I received from David Schwartz making that announcement. He's still going to be serving on the board of directors at Ripple, and he's also going to be running his own XRP ledger infrastructure. And maybe he's going to take advantage of the new upgrade that we just got to the XRP ledger, which is the multi-purpose token amendment going live. And we're going to break this down for you guys, how big this is for XRP DeFi. But the market is moving back up. Literally, the government shutting down marked the bottom, right? So we called it the DC dance dip. I hope that you guys were able to buy it up. Let me know if you were. That came in last night at about 9 o'clock here on the West Coast, midnight Eastern. Right here, basically marking the bottom, the government shutting down. That was the bottom of the dip. 281 coming in on XRP. Did any of you guys scoop up at that level? And then we just move it right back on up above $2.90, and we're back up to $2.94 this morning. We did almost tick $2.96, so we need to reclaim $3. We're definitely not out of the weeds yet, and we could still see some short-term volatility come in. While the government shut down, we're not going to get economic data, and so the market doesn't like uncertainty. But it's almost like no news is good news is kind of how I'm looking at it right now. And so it looks like the bottom of the DC dip, DC dance dip, as we were calling it, did come in. Markets moving back up. My XRP long in profit, and we're having a fantastic day. But let's get right on into this big upgrade to the XRP ledger. This is so massive. And this is the multi-purpose tokens going live on the XRP ledger. And a huge shout out to XP Market for putting together this article, breaking it down. Before I dive into it, just to reiterate, I really believe that David, the only reason that he's stepping aside, he's a winner, right? There is no second best when it comes to David and what he's accomplished, being decades ahead of the entire crypto industry, literally. People don't know that he was working on Bitcoin before he started working and created the XRP ledger with Arthur Brito and Jed McCaleb. And then many people don't even understand that he had the patent for distributed ledger technology back in 1988. Back to the future. David Schwartz, he's not even a human, really. But the point that I'm trying to get across is that this was him signing off, jobs finished. Ripple and their institutional partners will have everything that they need for institutional DeFi to replace TradFi, to replace Swift, and this old system that we're all ready to leave behind. That job is finished, which is why David can step out of day-to-day operations. He's still going to steer the ship, being on the board of directors at Ripple, and he's also going to continue running his own XRP ledger infrastructure. Now, I did note that there were still a few amendments set to pass here in the pipeline that will really complete the process. And one of those amendments being multi-purpose tokens and how big this is going to be for our DeFi. Let's break it down. Today marks a major milestone for the XRP ledger and XP market with the launch of multi-purpose tokens. These tokens represent the next evolution of fungible assets on the XRP ledger, designed to simplify tokenization, strengthen compliance controls, and provide a smoother developer and user experience. Any institution tokenizing any asset, it can now be done on the XRP ledger, right? That's where we're at. Multi-purpose tokens are fungible tokens built directly into the XRP ledger through the MP Tokens V1 amendment, offering a cleaner and more efficient alternative to legacy trustline tokens. With just a few lines of code, issuers can create diverse token experiences while relying on the XRP ledger protocol for security, compliance, and scalability. We don't sacrifice any of that as we build out our DeFi capabilities. I absolutely love it. No smart contracts, no hacking, no breaches, just beautiful DeFi in compliance, security, compliance, and scalability here on the XRP ledger. Unlike trustline tokens, MPTs come with unique MPT issuance ID, making each issuance distinct and verifiable. They also feature on-chain metadata ensuring token details like scale, supply cap, or compliance rules are transparent and enforceable. Once again, you can't bring institutions to the XRP ledger without compliance compatibility. So you have on-chain metadata, functional rules, supply caps, transfer fees, transferability, and descriptive metadata stored directly on the ledger. Transferability controls. Tokens can be made non-transferable, restricted to allow listed users, or enabled for DEX and escrow functionality. Supply caps. Issuers can set hard limits on circulating supply to align with scarcity-driven models. Transfer fees. Configurable fees of 0 to 50% apply to transfers between holders, with burn fees ensuring no central party benefits unfairly. See, this is where our developers can finally start to get paid through the XRP ledger, right? And the things that they're building out. This is great. Compliance tools. Issuers can freeze balances, clawback tokens, or disable these controls entirely, giving flexibility for both regulated and decentralized use cases. So for, institutions that are required by law to have the ability to freeze or claw back, they would be able to add that to their tokens, right? And a bunch of people wondering, why haven't all these institutions tokenized on the XRP ledger yet, right? And you're going to have people in the comments down below saying, oh, this doesn't matter. They're still not going to tokenize on the XRP ledger. They haven't been able to, right? You can't tokenize at scale. And this is one of the things with ROUSD. They had to enable some of these features, right? The clawback amendment that we added and the ability to freeze, right, had to be there and live on the XRP ledger before Ripple could launch ROUSD in a compliant way. This is just building on top of that. And it finally allows the institutions to start coming to the XRP ledger. Simplified design, no rippling, no bidirectional balances, and fewer edge cases compared to trustline tokens, making MPTs more robust for DeFi. Why does this matter though? The launch of MPTs brings XRP Ledger in line with modern tokenization standards while preserving its strengths of speed, low cost, and reliability. For builders, MPTs unlock the ability to launch multiple assets, each with their own rules and metadata, from a single issuing account, cutting down on operational overhead and risk exposure. For users and institutions, this means more predictable token behavior, stronger compliance guardrails, and an ecosystem ready to support real-world finance, gaming, and asset tokenization at scale. Potential benefits for the XRP Ledger ecosystem. You're going to be attracting institutions with built-in compliance tools like clawbacks, freezes, and allow lists. MPTs align with regulatory requirements, making the XRP Ledger more attractive to banks, fintechs, and enterprises. Expanding DeFi. By simplifying issuance and creating a standardized model, MPTs lower the barrier for DeFi protocols on the XRP Ledger, potentially leading to more liquidity and sophisticated financial instruments. And remember, the more DeFi that gets built out, and we're seeing this with Flare, Axelar, and others, the more XRP gets allocated towards those yield opportunities, and it locks up more XRP supply, bringing us back to that XRP supply shock, which we were called crazy for. And this is where the XRP supply shock doesn't just come from the institutions and Ripple and them flipping the switch. It comes from retail DeFi users locking up XRP for fuzzy, wuzzy, pudgy penguins, meme coins, and NFTs on the ledger, right? And these DeFi protocols, which are trying to provide yield to XRP holders. Developer growth. A simpler conceptual model means developers can experiment faster without complex edge cases, potentially accelerating innovation on the XRP ledger. Let's talk about use cases. Stablecoins and CBDCs, gaming and NFTs, loyalty and reward programs, tokenized real-world assets, micropayments, and streaming payments. It's game on, folks. It is absolutely game on, and it is live on XP Market today. XP Market is proud to support MPTs from day one. Starting today, users can issue, manage, and trade MPTs directly through the XP Market platform. This integration reaffirms our commitment to providing the most advanced tools for token issuers and traders across the XRP ledger. Now, we've already, I use XP Market, I use XMagnetic, I use Zalman for a hot wallet. I've also downloaded the Joey wallet too. I've been playing around in this, getting familiar, because right now, up until now, right, we've been playing around with some memes, some NFTs, some tokens have come here and there that have tried to add, some utility. We've talked about that in the past. But XP Market is just one DEX interface for the XRP ledger, where you could take your hot wallet like Zalman and connect it to XP Market, and then you would have the full ability to that, and you're fully in the XRP ledger ecosystem to use multi-purpose tokens, NFTs, memes, trading, etc. AMM. And so this is an absolutely massive upgrade to the XRP ledger. And I've been talking about how this XRP DeFi season, we're entering the period where this really blooms out, fully blossoms for us all to see. And I think that David knows, as he finishes up his role at CTO for the remainder of 2025, these amendments are going to pass. It's all going to be ready to go. Ripple doesn't need him in the day-to-day operations anymore. And now, right, we're going to see not only DeFi for institutions really set off, but the same DeFi compatibility and capabilities are here for retail users as well. The big kicker is that this is all being added without smart contracts. The XRP ledger is getting all this programmability, all these tools and functions without smart contracts, which is where a lot of the hacks and the exploits and the bad code and the little bugs that they'll hide in those smart contracts, that's where a lot of that comes from in all of these other ecosystems that are always dealing with hacks and other issues. So that's what I love about how all of these amendments like the AMM, multi-purpose token, smart escrow, token escrow, right? All of these amendments that are coming down the pipeline are all being added to the XRP ledger without smart contracts. And I absolutely love to see it. Now, before we check on out of here, I want to give a quick shout to our sponsor, iTrust Capital. If you guys haven't heard about iTrust yet, you definitely want to get tapped in over here, especially if you have an IRA or you're looking to roll over a 401k to a IRA and start investing in crypto today. iTrust Capital can get that done. They also do have the premium custody account as well, institutional grade custody, no monthly fees, no annual fees, 24/7 crypto trading at 1% transaction fee in the premium custody account. But in the IRA product, I wanted to note how you can fund this. There's a couple different ways. Of course, you can do a cash contribution, max contribution up to $7,000 per year, $8,000 if you are over the age of 50. But you also can do an IRA transfer if you have the traditional IRA, SEP IRA, inherited IRA, simple IRA, or other. But then for those of you guys that do have a 401k with your employer or a 403b, a TSP, 457, or other retirement plan, you can roll that over into a traditional IRA with iTrust Capital, get that account funded. And when you use my promo code, which is Rector9, you're going to claim that $100 funding bonus. So a quick shout out to iTrust Capital. Happy to have them plugged in as a community resource. We got them tapped in. They have the premium custody product and that crypto IRA available for you guys as well. Once again, that promo code is Rector9 to claim your $100 funding bonus. Now, if you guys appreciate our content, please make sure that you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of it. If you like it, tap it, and help us out by sharing it out far and wide, guys. This is massive for XRP DeFi. XRP bull run continues as we move up higher. You just love to see it. We'll see you in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.